Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to this engaging fireside chat on AI and analytics synergy, driving intelligent decision making. I'm Amit Singh from TechBus Media and CXO TV. Today's fireside chat will explore the transformative synergy between AI and analytics. And it is our pleasure to have with us today a seasoned technologist with over 27 years of experience, Mr. Sridhar Mantha, who is the President and CEO of Generative AI Business Unit at Happiest Minds Technologies. He is a technologist with hands-on experience in conceptualizing, designing, building, and launching products for various startups to industry leaders. Before joining Happiest Minds, he has been with Mindtree as a CTO, and he has also held multiple senior roles in both product and services organizations like Aztecsoft, Tractronics, and Tata ELXSI, both in India and US. So thanks a lot, Mr. Sridhar, for joining us today.
Thank you, Amit.
Okay. So to kick off things, could you elaborate on some common challenges that organizations encounter in today's dynamic environment, so which actually necessitate the adoption of AI and analytics solutions for effective decision making and operational efficiency for them?
Sure, Amit. Because the workflows and the decision-making process have become very complex due to multiple reasons, right? There are global supply chains, and there is a demand from the customers and consumers on extremely simpler interfaces and solutions. And there are tremendous market expectations on the companies to have superior performance. Today, we have the technology that collects all kinds of data points in the operations. These data points are generated by both humans and also machines in various scenarios with IoT kind of technologies. So with so much of the data constantly coming inside the organizations, unless the organizations figure out how AI and analytics together can be leveraged to completely take the decisions or enable the decision making of the human beings by significantly assisting them, if the organization do not achieve this goal, they cannot maintain the competitive edge.
Yeah. Okay. So we're now looking at the collaborative potential of AI and analytics. Can you provide an overview of how these two domains synergize to drive intelligent decision making, and what prompts organizations to explore this transformative collaboration?
Sure, Amit. Because let us briefly define AI and analytics as we continue to talk about the overlap areas or the synergies and how one domain feeds off from another to achieve the common goals. Generally, when we tend to refer to analytics, we are referring to generally the statistical or the computational analysis of the data. And when we talk about AI, we generally tend to refer to more of a human-like intelligence. And all of us are well aware that the machine learning completely revolutionized the field of AI from approximately 2004 onwards. Right. And now when we look at both these domains or both these solution spaces and how they interact and intersect with each other, analytics actually can provide data insights that actually can be taken further up by the AI models to train the AI models. So when we are trying to run AI models and machine learning models, we actually are looking at extremely large volumes of the data. However, the AI models can be pre-trained based on the work analytics has done, so that the AI models know what kind of predictions or the patterns they need to look at, because that initial insights were provided by the analytics, and from that point onwards, AI can take over with the large-scale data sets to either provide the real-time predictions and insights, or on an extremely large volume of the data, very fast and efficient way to provide insights.
Very good. So what happens that in the real world application, I mean, integrating AI and analytics frameworks. Uh, so this can be a complex task. Okay. So what strategies have you observed or you suggest uh, to seamlessly integrate these technologies within organizational processes? And what challenges are commonly faced in achieving this synergy?
Sure. So, as we discussed earlier, the quality of the data and the quantity of the data are extremely important before we even attempt analytics and AI to take the value out of their full potential. The very first thing the organizations need to have is have a clear vision on the data strategy. Okay. Because unfortunately, too many silos of data exist in enterprise. It could be at the business unit level or different technologies people have implemented over a period of time. So there is no single source of the truth, and there is no single repository of all of the data with higher quality by having the data cleansing and other kind of mechanisms. So the very first step is to integrate all the data sources, improve the accuracy, and create a single source of the truth. This is the first must step. The second step, Amit, is you have to create a very clear roadmap for AI and analytics. And where are you going to use it? How are you going to use it? In what situations you are going to use it? So you need to have what we are going to do now, what we are going to do in 6 months. The clear roadmap has to be in place. That's the second very, very important step. And the third and the last step is you have to create a center of excellence or a consolidated team of people that are responsible across the organization to implement AI and analytics with a dedicated team and a strong leadership. Unless you have these three elements in place, you still can implement AI and analytics, but you won't be able to take the full advantage of it. So you got to have vision and commitment, and there'll be always challenges that will happen, right? And you have to have a clear expectations based on what is available today as technology and what can be achieved today and how incrementally we can evolve the value.
Very good. So, can you also share some examples where the convergence of AI and analytics has led to notable efficiencies and strategic advantages, particularly in the realm of predictive and prescriptive analytics?
Sure. So those are very interesting and important use cases or specific solutions you picked up, Amit, both the predictive analytics and prescriptive analytics, because these two areas are pretty much omnipresent across many, many domains. So probably I'll pick few. And, if you want any specific domain, we can get into a little bit more depth. So probably I'll start with healthcare, right? If you look at healthcare, specifically on the predictive analytics, AI algorithms can actually analyze the patient data. And this patient data could be at the level of the hospital, aggregated across multiple users. Right? We have seen wearable watches kind of thing, or like the heart rate monitors and real-time monitoring of blood sugar levels across many, many users with new Internet of Medical Things or new interesting devices. So now by combining all of this massive patient data, AI algorithms can actually, with their machine learning models, predict the likelihood of patient being readmitted to the hospital or developing certain complications based on their medical history, lab results, and other factors. So this kind of prediction really helps because you're trying to figure out what kind of health problems the patients may get before the patients themselves may realize or wait till the problem becomes too complicated for them. When it comes to prescriptive analytics within healthcare, right? Now, based on the predictive analytics, AI systems now can recommend personalized treatment plans. This may include suggesting specific medications or even lifestyle changes or preventive measures extremely tailored towards the specific patient's predicted health risk. So that way you can see the combination of both these solutions can really improve the overall health outcomes at the individual level, also at the aggregated community of the people or the society level. If I take finance as a domain, the predictive analytics, of course, some elements of this is already existing and we always see them, is the financial institutions can use the AI to predict the stock market trends. They can predict the credit risk and the customer churn. And here the machine learning models analyze the historical data, and also there is so much of the data that is coming from the market as the market indicators. And combining them, they can actually forecast the market movements and assess the risk profiles of the borrowers. This can be done only with the help of machine learning models because the volume of the data is so huge.
Yeah.
And in the finance space, if you look at, again, prescriptive analytics, AI-driven prescriptive analytics can actually suggest what is the best portfolio management strategy at the individual level or for a specific institutional buyer.
Yeah.
And like what stocks to buy, when, and when to sell them. It can also recommend the best course of action for the credit risk mitigation for the banks for a specific customer or a customer of the bank. Similarly, if you look at maybe one or two more domains to illustrate this even more, right? If you look at retail, in the predictive analytics space, the AI models actually can analyze the consumer behavior. Right? What are the past purchases? What are the market trends that are happening? Right? Sometimes, if it is in the West, around the Christmas time. If it is in India, around Diwali time. Right? There's historical movements of the market or the purchasing trends happening around it. So combining all that information at the individual level and at the market level and also at the aggregated consumer behavior, they can predict what are the future buying patterns and what kind of demand the products will have. Of course, we have been seeing this heavily on Amazon to Flipkart to all kinds of e-commerce and the classic retailers also. When we see the prescriptive analytics within retail, the retailers can use the information that they are getting from the predictive analytics, and now they can make decisions on inventory management, for example, right? Because they can actually expect or the forecast the demand. And they can also make the personalized marketing campaigns because they have an idea that Amit could be buying certain product or Sridhar could be buying certain product. They can have highly personalized marketing campaigns that are tailored towards each of the target buyers. And they can also have the dynamic pricing strategies that we see heavily in the recent past because no product price is constant. The days of MSRP were over many years back because of these technologies. And the AI might suggest stocking up certain items ahead of the predicted increase in the demand or crafting personalized discounts also so that they know that you or me can probably may buy up to 80%. So what will sweeten the deal, specifically for Sridhar or Amit, so they can keep doing those kind of things. I can go one or two more, Amit, depending upon you.
These are impressive examples that you have given. Shifting gears a bit, if we talk about human-machine collaboration, so that is something which is evolving rapidly. So can you elaborate on the changing role of humans in decision-making processes and how organizations strike a balance between automated AI insights and human judgment?
Sure. So we need to be very clear that certain workflow decisions can be completely automated, right? Because any statistical errors or any errors, because we are not talking about 100% truth, right? Both with AI and analytics or even the combination scenario, because we are talking about 95% certainty or 90% certainty or 85% certainty. That's how these models work. So we need to be clear, or the enterprises need to be clear, right? The particular decision, whether it falls into what kind of categories, right? Either you can completely automate it, or if the accuracy is not acceptable, right? We got to have the human in the loop, right? What we meant by that is the decisions taken by the AI and analytics have to be approved by the human being.
Exactly.
Now, there, the rationale can be why AI or analytics or the combination has picked a particular decision as opposed to be a different decision. They can actually provide the details. I use the rationale A, B, C, D, right? And that gives a human better understanding. Oh, because of this, you have taken it. No, I don't agree with this. What are the alternate suggestions that you have, right, for this particular decision? Now, historically, the AI models never used to explain, right, why they actually predicted a particular value. Now, of course, in the last few years, we made significant strides as an explainable AI so that the human knows why the AI took this decision, so I can look at the reasons. Now, the second and the other category is we actually make the AI and analytics as an assistive tool. What I meant by that is the human is the one who is going to take the decision. So the analysis and options only will be presented by the AI and analytics, and the human will be taking the decision. And these kind of use cases are very critical and could be very useful for the organizations. Now, unless the enterprises do this kind of classification in the initial stages, and if they actually replace one by other, that means removing the human in the loop for critical decisions, or not having the right kind of people and using the AI and analytics as an assistive tools, right? Then you'll be very quickly compromising, right? Because the statistical errors of 5% could be extremely huge, right? In a massive supply chain on a daily basis, thousands of decisions have to be taken, right? So as technology evolves, now it is not a one-time task. The last point I want to make, it is like even though the organizations make this clear distinction and identify the use cases or the workflow steps, you need to constantly keep reassessing them, because as technology evolves, maybe some decisions earlier were being assisted through human being can be completely taken by the AI and the models because the technology improved further or we optimize the model further. My point is, this is the constant assessment that the organization has to go through so that they can achieve the right balance between the AI and analytics on one side and humans on the other side.
Very good. Very good. So, and now as organizations increasingly adopt AI-driven analytics solutions, okay, so scalability could be a challenge. Scalability actually becomes crucial. So what challenges do businesses encounter when scaling up these solutions, and what are the best practices that you would suggest to overcome those challenges?
So as I touched upon the need for the high quality and the right data initially, right? I mean, before even attempting the scaling of the ML and the AI models and the analytics solutions that you have in place, the first step is you look at the scaling of your data infrastructure. Because as we have seen historically, we can make any kind of moves there, right? In the sense that every 18 months, the data you're collecting will go up by 4 times to 10 times. We can pick any number, like this is an exponential. At this point in time, the amount of interactions from the humans, especially to the machines, right? As I mentioned, we have the IoT, industrial IoT, Internet of Medical Things. And especially when the machines are generating the data, they generate at much faster rate than any of us can generate the data. So the very first step is you have to think about scaling of your data infrastructure. And the data that you're constantly collecting, right? You need to have a comprehensive data strategy to collect, clean, process, and store your data. Because unless you have the right data, it's a garbage in, garbage out. Your analytics and AI cannot do really much, right? You don't have the right amount or the right quality of the data. And the cloud and the big data technologies play a huge role on this. And once you have a clear data infrastructure, a scalable data infrastructure, now we'll come into the AI and analytics. Right? And certain models, especially within machine learning space, they actually get better with the more data you have, right? And to train especially. So like what I meant by that is like, let us say you have 20 data points or 30 data points, naturally the statistical models like regression models are really good. But the moment you start having millions of data points, that's where ML kicks in, and that is extremely efficient and good at it. And now when we are trying to scale the AI and analytics kind of models, and this requires different kind of cloud infrastructure compared to the classic enterprise cloud infrastructure. What I meant by that is like typically if you are trying to have, let us say, a massive web cluster or applications cluster, then you typically think in terms of the cheaper virtual machines. But however, when it comes to the AI and analytics, we are talking about more of a GPU infrastructure. There's the graphics cards from NVIDIA, the Intel and the AMD and others. So you have to think more in terms of vGPU infrastructure as opposed to the VM infrastructure. so that these models can be efficiently executed. So you need to think about, even if you have a very good cloud strategy, you need to incorporate vGPU components into your cloud strategy. And then the last point you need to be very, very clear about is, of course, the DevOps has become very popular in terms of the overall software development and deployment and monitoring, etc. You need to start thinking about AI ops, ML ops, right, and cloud ops, and integrating all of them along with your DevOps, so that the model development, model training, and model deployment also goes through completely automated process, and then you can truly operate at the scale that you require.
Certainly. Okay. So, in the context of predictive analytics, so how is the collaboration between AI and analytics impacted the accuracy and reliability of predictions? And the lessons can organizations draw from these experiences?
Sure, Amit. I'll address your first point and the second point, right? Especially on the impact on the accuracy and reliability, right, in the recent few years. The first one is, we have now the ability to do the data processing at scale. As I mentioned earlier, the machine learning models get better and better with the more data that you have, both for training and for the inference purposes. Now, today we have the AI that can process vast quantities of data much more efficiently than the traditional analytics method. This ability to work with big data has increased the accuracy of the predictions naturally by allowing more comprehensive training data sets that we have. The second one is complex pattern recognition. AI, especially in the machine learning algorithms, deep neural networks, etc., right? They can identify complex nonlinear relationships within the data that generally traditional statistical methods can easily miss. Now, this has led to more nuanced and accurate predictive models for us. The third one is real-time analysis. Now, it is not like we are giving the data and we are waiting for like 5 hours or 6 hours or 2 hours or some time to get the predictions and the outcomes we want. Now we have the real-time analysis where AI actually enables the real-time data processing, and that allows the organization to make the timely predictions, right? As the data is flowing into your enterprise, then and there itself you are taking the decisions, and you can even act also then and there itself. And this immediacy has improved the relevance and the reliability of the predictive insights, because you can act then and there immediately. The fourth one is continuous learning. These machine learning models, it is not like on the day one you deployed an AI model coupled with analytics, and let us say you're getting 80% accuracy, right? It is not a failure or like you need to be sad about it, because on a daily basis, right, these models are getting better and better and better with the new data as they're getting exposed. So the solutions that you're deploying in the enterprise are constantly, continuously learning, and that will improve the predictions. And this leads to progressive improvement in the prediction accuracy. The last part within the accuracy and reliability I would like to call out is the reduction of the human error. Now, by automating such accurate and reliable AI and machine learning models, as I mentioned earlier, and how to couple them with the human beings, right? The human beings, we are fallible, right? But generally the machines are not. So that way, having the reduction of the human error also significantly improves the overall reliability of the enterprise at the organization. These are the 5 things I want to call out on what is happening in the recent past. And the second question you had was, what are the lessons for the organizations?
Right.
And the very first one is, of course, I've been repeating this part, invest in the quality of the data. Without the quality of the data, the accuracy of the AI-driven predictions, they are highly dependent on the quality of the data. The second thing is, you have to understand what are the limitations of the models, right? Even though the technology and the algorithms are improving continuously, there are always limitations on where this AI model can be used, and what is the accuracy level, and they are not infallible. And there could be sometimes bias in the data, and you are probably overfeeding the data through your model, etc. So you need to understand as an organization, what are the limitations of the AI model that I'm deploying? The third one is explainability is key. If you haven't thought about it and you went ahead, in multiple scenarios, you're going to have trouble because as the AI models are becoming complex, you have no idea why this particular prediction has come out of the AI model. And it could be important for you tomorrow from the auditing point of view, or sometimes you can't even explain to your stakeholders, hey, why this decision is taken. I have no idea. My AI model has suggested that is not an acceptable answer. So think about explainability from day one. The fourth one is ethical consideration. Now, this is really an important topic, and it has come to the forefront in the recent few months or a couple of years. With the AI's influence on the predictive analytics is constantly growing, so especially around privacy, consent, and how do we use the predictive insights without compromising these have come to the forefront. So organizations have to have a clear view on how we are going to navigate. The next one is, of course, we touched upon balance in the human and AI decision making. And the last one, Amit, I want to surely call out is organizations need to prepare for change management, right? These are not purely technological problems. Like if I introduce a powerful AI and analytics models and my workflow decisions by humans were cut off by, let us say, 40% or 50%. Now, people are not always resistant to change. They don't believe in these things. Hey, this is what we have been doing till yesterday. Why do you have to change it? Let me take my own decisions. Or they may not be able to fully leverage the new tools and technology we are providing. The organizations have to have the change management plan. That includes, of course, cultural change to focus on the training, communication, everything, so that you support the innovation.
So fantastic insights. So looking ahead, how do you foresee the future of AI and analytics synergy in driving intelligent decision making? And what are the emerging trends that you see those would shape this collaboration further?
Sure. So, of course, there is a completely new revolutionizing technology that is on the canvas at this point in time, right, Amit, which is generative AI, right? And now the way generative AI can accelerate both AI and analytics, and the combination of it is extremely fascinating, right, with this new technology. So I'll give some specific areas where generative AI can actually help the AI and analytics to achieve like a predictive analytics or prescriptive analytics, etc. The very first one is, we talked so much about the data, right? However, unfortunately, a lot of times you might not be having sufficient data to train initially, right? Or there could be some reasons where like the personal data of the users cannot be used to train, right? So in those situations, generative AI can do data augmentation. What I meant by that is it can actually create additional synthetic data, right? Now, let us say like you have only 20 data points. Unfortunately, the other data points either you don't have or you cannot use due to privacy or other reasons, right? So just using the 20 data points or 30 data points, you can actually create hundreds of additional synthetic data points. Generative AI can create them. So now you have a large volume of the data. Now you can train the AI models. In the past, you were stuck because the data points were not sufficient. And the second thing where generative AI can help is they can actually simulate different scenarios because they have the ability to generate the data, right? So, so for example, you want to see how 2 years down the line, right, your data model can work, or your AI models can work, right? You can actually use the generative AI to actually create certain synthetic data about 2 years down the line, how the user behavior or the systems are going to be there. So all kinds of what if analysis you can do with the help of generative AI. The other one is anomaly detection. Now, so far we talked about, when we talk about AI and analytics, predominantly we are talking about numbers. So I have this like stock prices we talked about, or you are trying to figure out if there's a credit card fraud. There's a medical claim that happened. You want to figure out if there's any anomaly here so that you can predict the user's behavior is right or the user is trying to cheat the system, right? So generally with the AI models so far, with analytics, we are looking at what numbers exist. Like for example, yesterday there was a $500 purchase was done by Amit, but Amit generally does only $2 or $5 or $20 kind of. So those are the numbers we look at. But with generative AI, now we can start look at the context, right? So when you make the claim of the medical event or the doctor visit you did or the prescriptions, right? Now actually using the generative AI, we can couple that with the number-oriented AI and analytics models, also with the generative AI, so that I can actually look at the text content, right? When you fill the form, right? Is there any pattern there, right? So that way we are talking about AI or the traditional AI plus analytics, because generative AI also you can say is part of AI, right? The traditional AI, ML models and analytics models. Now you couple with generative AI to complete the picture of the numbers and also the text and reasoning. So these are the kind of things. And then probably one more last thing I'll talk about, right? What generative AI can add is, so far we are talking about more of the numbers, predictions, etc., right? Where is the creativity here, right? Because that is where we are heavily relying upon the humans, right? There is no creativity in the AI models and analytics, right? Now, with generative AI, because they have the ability to be close to reasoning. Those generative AI models are not reasoning models, but they are very close to reasoning. So there's new architectures like agent-based architectures where it is as if like Amit and Sridhar are reasoning with each other, right? Based on the AI and analytics inputs, right? Once we have the predictions, for example, typically in the organizations, 2 or 3 of us or 5 of us will come into a room and then we'll discuss and debate, right? Like, hey, option A is better or B is better. So we now started having technology where we create agents, right? Using large language models and generative AI, they actually can reason with each other based on the output of the AI and analytics. So looking at some of these examples or the areas where generative AI can nicely fit in along with the traditional AI or the machine learning and analytics, now add generative AI, and we have very powerful solutions coming out of this complete picture. So we are really excited about the role of generative AI in the combination of AI and analytics.
Very wonderful. So, indeed, a compelling vision for the future. Thanks a lot, Mr. Sridhar, for sharing your expertise with us today. It has been really truly enlightening discussion on the synergies between AI and analytics. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our fireside chat today. A big thank you to Mr. Sridhar Mantha for being here with us today. We hope you all find this discussion very much insightful and highly valuable. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.